Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Capricorn in mid-June 2020. Hello, Capricorn. How are you guys doing? I hope that you're doing well. All right, friends, mid-June, 6 months into the month of 2020. How are you? How's everything? I don't ask that facetiously. I ask it with actual authenticity because it's been rough, right? It's been rough. Pandemic still happening outside our doors in many places around the world. Here in the States, it's still very much an issue in several places. So hopefully you guys are doing well with that. You're being safe. You're being, you know, as cautious as you can be, as cautious as you want to be with that. And hopefully you, your family, and your friends are all happy and healthy and safe in the middle of this time. Also, I've addressed it in all other videos, and I will address it in all videos during this mid-month series. There has been a lot of civil unrest and an issue here in the States as of late May 2020, and I'm just going officially on the record because I do think it's important to speak to certain social issues and current events in our nation, in our world, in our culture, and so I'm going on the record in all my videos and expressing my support of the Black Lives Matter movement. It's not automatic that I, as a Black American, would support the movement, but I want it to be clearly stated because, you know, I'm running a business here, right? This is a business, what I'm doing. And I want people to know who they're dealing with. And it's not in a threatening way. It's not in a way as if I'm trying to exclude people, not at all. But I want people to understand because, you know, this issue affects everyone, whether you know it or not. The issue at the core of racial inequality, racial injustice, and social biases that we all possess, that affects everybody. And my inclination is to move towards inclusion, and one of the things that you need to do to support inclusion is to call out or pay attention to the disparities in a situation. That's personal, that's public, that's private, that's all the levels, right? And then also the reason I state it out here publicly is because in my work, as if you've been with me for a while, Capricorns, or anyone else who might be watching, you would know that I support transparency, I support authenticity, and creating spaces for that. If you deal with people who are not authentic, if you deal with people who are not transparent, you're not dealing with the real person. So that's my effort here, okay? If you agree with supporting Black Lives Matter, that's cool. If you disagree, that's also cool. I'm not somebody who's like, if you don't agree with me, don't watch my channel. You can disagree and watch me. You can disagree and don't watch me. You can agree and not watch me. Whatever you know, floats your boat, basically. But I do want to state it out here publicly for everybody, in case, you know, you were curious, or in case you were wondering how come I don't speak to certain things. Like I said, it is a business, but at a crucial time like this, when we're watching real time, we're watching a social evolution. We're watching a social and a spiritual evolution on a daily basis. You have to me, I feel inclined that I have to speak to it. Okay, so I'm just putting that in all my videos. In case anybody was curious as to why, that's why. Okay, on to the regular spiel, okay? This is going to be a general reading for Capricorn in mid-June, but it will mimic how I do my private readings, the style in which I read, the way I lay the cards out and whatever. So it's still very general. It's not for you specifically, whoever you are, so please bear that in mind and take what resonates and leave what doesn't, and always use your own discernment and take everything with a grain of salt, okay? Anything you want is in the description box. The timestamp is down there if you want to jump ahead. The information you need if you want to purchase a personal reading with me is also in the description box. If you have a question before you place an order, just go ahead and email me at the same address and I will answer you as soon as I can. And there is also the link to the Instagram page down there, or the Instagram account down there if you want to follow me over there. I'm interpreting oracle cards over there a few times throughout the week. Eventually we're going to do some pick-a-card stuff, so if you want to follow me on that platform, that's totally cool, okay? All right, Capricorn, let's get into it. Am I going to sneeze? Nope, I did not. I mean, I did a little bit, but that was weird. Oh, pardon me. All right, let's get into this for Capricorn, please. Let me see some Manages. Let me see some messages, energies, and insights for Capricorn in mid-June, please. Energies, messages, and insights for Capricorn in mid-June. Please show me. I think we're doing one bridge. Is that it? Yeah, they like that. One bridge. Okay. All right, Capricorn, let's get into it. The Fool. Peaceful too. That's peace. They're, yeah, okay, I got you. And the Two of Wands. Anything else for Capricorn at this time? Because we usually start with 2 or 3 cards, so let's see. 2. Okay, thank you. All right, guys. Pretty on the nose. You've got the Fool and the Two of Wands. Fool, major arcana for, oh my god, I'm blanking. Aquarius, there it is. Secondary major arcana for Aquarius, I should say. Okay, new beginnings. And then the Two of Wands. New beginnings as well, but then more specifically about pathways and making decisions. So you want to start over. You want things to come anew, Capricorn. I feel like you've been dealing with a situation that's just been hell to deal with. Or if not hell, you've been pushed to a limit. You've been pushed to the edge of something, right? You've been really dancing with danger. Okay, dancing with danger, or dancing with the devil is another phrase that you could use. But you've been in a situation where it was just like horrible, or it was very difficult to be there. It was very difficult to be with the people you were around, or you were dealing with certain aspects of yourself that was just like, it was a lot to bear. And this is like a full-on release of that. This is like, let me go. Let me out of this. I want to be done here. I want to be done with you. I want to be done with them. I want to be done with all of this. This is, as you can see, it's a 0, right? The Fool is the 0 card. So it's starting, oh my god, this deck, I swear with the focus, with this particular deck is annoying. Anyway, it's a hard reset on everything. It's a hard reset on your life, or some aspect of your life. Like if you're dealing with certain behaviors or addictions or whatever, I feel as though this is like cold turkey. This is like just giving it up. Some of you might be like literally walking away from things, walking away from situations, walking away from circumstances and physical places or people in your life that have some hold on you, or have held a certain place of importance in your life. I'm not feeling like an abandoning thing. I'm not feeling like you're walking away from responsibility. Some people might say that to you, but I'm not feeling that. I'm feeling like you, from where you're standing, from where your perspective is founded, you are walking away from difficulties. You're walking away from stress. You're walking away from horrible, dysfunctional situations and people, or aspects of yourself. And I think I said that when this card first came out. You're trying to do it peacefully, because in other traditional depictions of the Fool, you'll see the Fool carries like a suitcase or like a knapsack. In this deck, the Fool just has a single white rose, or a single white flower. I assume it's a rose. I have no green thumb, so if it's not a rose, I apologize. But like, you're surrendering. You're surrendering, which is good. In tarot, we talk about that. We talk about releasing and surrendering sometimes. We give over to a situation, or we, another phrase that you could plug in here is let go and let God, or let, Jesus take the wheel, or whatever you want to say in that regard. It's really realizing you've done everything you could to make a situation better, or you've done everything you could to, regardless, whether you intended good things or bad things, you did all that you could. You're exhausted from the situation. And so you're surrendering into nothingness, or uncertainty, or newness. Because the Fool, again, is about a hard reset. you know, not necessarily starting over in the exact same situation with the exact same people, but it is a reset on everything, clearing the playing field, leveling everything down to a zero, neutral, clear away space. And it feels positive, even though, thank you, it feels positive even though it feels like shit to you. Because you may have walked away, like I said, you're surrendering. You may be walking away from things that a normal, quote unquote, a normal person shouldn't walk away from. Or under normal circumstances, you would be labeled as crazy to walk away from. What do I mean? Some of you might be walking away from relationships, significant relationships with family, friends, or lovers and spouses, and you leave your possessions. People are like, what? Because again, the Fool carries nothing with them. That's just a rose. It's not even a bag. In this particular deck, there's no bag. There's no knapsack. There's no worldly possessions. Another thing that the Fool usually has in other traditional depictions, they usually have some type of companion. A dog, a bird, some animal. There's no animal here. So, see? And that sounds crazy. You've walked away from a situation where you were living with roommates. You left all your stuff behind. You left your TV, your clothes. You left your cat behind. And, like I said, I don't feel abandoned, but it feels like that is exactly what you had to do. Even if you abandon an animal, God forbid you abandon like a child or another person, but it feels like if you didn't do it, you personally, Capricorn, would have suffered greatly if you had stayed. Now, I don't know the specifics. I don't know the nitty-gritty of what you're dealing with, but this feels like you surrender, you sacrifice your worldly possessions, you sacrifice things that you built up before. You could have walked away from a business. You could have walked away from a financial deal or some type of contractual deal where you were making bank, where you were making stacks of cash, and you walk away from it and you release it. You're going, and what was I saying in the intro? You're going through some type, everybody is, by the way. It's not just Capricorns. Everybody is going through some type of spiritual awakening, some type of spiritual evolution on a personal level, on a public level, on a worldly level, right? And I think your way of doing it is total clean slate. It feels super positive in the macro sense, in the big picture sense, but in the micro sense, in down to how you feel about it in your day-to-day, you probably feel like shit about it. You probably are really, really not having the best of times adjusting to this new way of life, adjusting to throwing everything away and walking off with just yourself. Literally, just yourself in some of your cases. Wow. Now you do this because you have to ensure, thank you, it feels like you realize you have to ensure your future. And your future is for you to make. It's your destiny. It's your path, right? And you can choose. Go left, go right, go north, go south, go east, go west, whatever. With the Two of Wands, we make a choice to physically move ourselves in one way or another. So if you walk away from a job, you're walking towards another job, or you're walking towards entrepreneurship, or you're walking towards unemployment, or you could be leaving. That's interesting. Like, I'm literally feeling like some of you might literally ditch the physical world and devote yourself to a spiritual practice or some type of, quote unquote, non-traditional way of approaching life. You might sell all your worldly goods, give the money to a charity, and go live in the woods for God's sake. Something like that, which is ironic because, why are you watching tarot, or how are you watching it in the middle of the woods? I don't know. But it feels like night and day. This Two of Wands and this Fool, night and day. Where you were yesterday, you're not going to be there tomorrow. And it feels correct in an overall big picture sense. How you feel about it personally, probably less enthused. It's very, dare I say, binary, this Two of Wands. Which is, whatever. I'm not going to speak to that, but it feels very ultimate. Maybe you were given an ultimatum. Maybe you're giving people ultimatums in your life. Maybe you gave yourself an ultimatum. But it feels very finite. It feels very binary. It feels very, there's only two choices. Literally, in some cases, two choices. Justice, you could be dealing with a Libra or dealing with the legal system. I didn't even ask a question, but there it is, and I'm going to take it, which is very rare. If I don't take a question, or if I'm not considering something, I normally don't take it, but it flipped out, and it's like, boom, right in my face, justice. And you know, another thing about binary, or twos, right? As you can see with the justice card, you've got two scales, or a scale with like two sides to it, right? So it's this or that. There's a lot of this or that here. And, oh, okay. Another thing is some of you may have run away from this. All right, that's another aspect. So for some, you're choosing one way or another. You're choosing between the binary. You're choosing between the two options that stand in front of you. Some of you are doing that. And the choice is going to result in you walking away from or abandoning, or, well, see, I said abandoning, so I'll take it. But releasing, surrendering something, right? Others of you, you actually are running away from the choice. And that's, you're like shucking your responsibilities, or you're throwing your responsibilities to the wayside. Okay, so there it is. Okay. So there are some of you who are abandoning ship, basically. And you might feel really rotten, or people might say you're doing a rotten thing, but personally, this is probably the best thing for your personal development. And, you know, I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm not trying to say somebody who walks out on their children, who walks out on their family, who walks out on their other responsibilities is some type of saint, or they're doing the best thing ever. No, because it's going to affect other people and it's not going to feel good all around. But in terms of what the tarot message is saying, what I'm feeling empathically, is that for your sake, your personal subjective sake, this is exactly what you need to do. This is exactly what you're supposed to do. Again, not an excuse. Not an excuse. I'm not down with abandoning people. You know, if you're going to leave, make sure you say why you're leaving, and, you know, let's make a game plan. But to just totally get up and walk out the door and tell no one and leave people in the lurch, you know, that's not a cool thing to do. But if you've done it, again, empathically, energetically, this feels like that's exactly what you're supposed to do. You know, justice came out on this. Why? Because I'm trying to figure out more. Because again, it came out and I wasn't asking a question. But legal. They're like legal. So legally, you may have broken a contract. And I'm not going to say you're on the run, because I don't know how big or how impactful or unlawful the breaking of this contract is. But some of you, that Fool card could be on the run, on the lam. Like I was just saying, like selling all your worldly possessions and living in the woods. Like, God forbid, I could be, you know, tarot is just a tool. It's not only for certain messages. Tarot is only for positive messages. Tarot is only for fluffy messages. No, tarot can tell you some real shit. And some of you might be dealing with a situation. If it's not you, you might be dealing with a person who literally is on the run from the law, who literally broke the law in a heinous or criminal act, and they are trying to skirt away from justice. You know? In that case, it takes a super dark turn, and it's not for everybody, so we're not going to explore it. But there is a possibility that that takes a dark turn. And I stand by what I'm saying. That is exactly what was supposed to happen. I'm not judge or jury or anything like that, but it feels like that's exactly what's supposed to happen. Like there was no other choice in someone's mind to skip town, to, you know, skip a court date, to break jail, or break what's that called? Oh my God, what's that called? Probation. Thank you. It took me a minute. It's not, again, I don't condone it. I'm not over here going, yeah, Attica. I'm not that person. I do not in my personal life support that. But what the message is saying is that is exactly what that person was supposed to do. There's something in that is correct. Again, tarot is not only going to talk to you about good shit or give you good messages. It's going to tell you the facts from a cosmic energetic level. Okay. In cases where we're not talking about, you know, skipping town and being a criminal on the run or something like that, I do get the sense that some of you are leaving a marriage, right? Or leaving some type of commitment that was overseen by the law, or overseen by, you know, local authorities or you know, state officials, whatnot. So some of you are leaving a marriage, you're abandoning that relationship, you're leaving, again, some of you are walking away from a marriage with nothing. You're walking away with less than what you went into it with. Like some of you, maybe in terms of law, this is about a divorce, and in that divorce, you are sent to the cleaners, or you sent your partner to the cleaners, and you're just like walking out, pulling what that old image from cartoons where you reach into your pocket and you pull out the pocket lining, and there's just moths in there, and it's just like nothing. You have nothing. Somebody's walking away with nothing, and they're going towards nothingness. And it feels correct. It's a hard reset. Again, the Fool is coming in as this energy of starting over on a totally new path, waving a white flag or a white rose. I surrender. I give up. You got me. Or this situation got me. Or whatever. And somehow that's exactly what's supposed to happen. That is probably not what you want to hear in many of your cases, but I'm telling you, that's what the message is. So, let's ask an actual question this time. What other messages do we have for Capricorn regarding the situation? Actually, let's ask a specific question. What is this Fool card going towards? What is this new path that Capricorn is going towards? Oh, I'm so congested. What is this new path that Capricorn is going towards? What is this Fool card pertaining to? What is this new path that Capricorn is going towards? Five of Cups. All right. Emotional reevaluation. Emotional release. Trying to get over emotional distress. Where is the Fool card going? Why is that showing up in Capricorn's reading? What is this new path pertaining to? And the Six of Pentacles, yep. You got it, whoa! Some of you guys have been through the ringer in a situation with a person, with whatever you were dealing with. It's different for everybody. Five of Cups, right? So, this is an evaluation of what has been lost. This is really going over, possibly itemizing in the middle of whatever proceedings you're in. Like if this was about a divorce, this is going over the paperwork. This is going over itemized lists of what you guys have together in equity, and dissolving your assets. Okay, it doesn't have to be marriage. This could also be business, right? And it's bittersweet, or in some of your cases it's totally just bitter, because you're walking away with either nothing or close to nothing. And again, like I'm getting this sense of cleansing. As this is a 5, this is about changes and challenges, and having to embrace that or cope with that. And I think Capricorn, you're a resolute energy. You're a resolute sign. I don't get the sense that you're wanting to be petty. I don't get the sense that you're wanting more than you're due. I really get the sense, going back to that Fool card and what we're talking about, is you just want to be free of it. You want to be free of it. And the thing about the Five of Cups is, it's hard to do that because cups speak to emotions. And emotions, as much as I'm talking about, leaving behind material things or giving up your certain material possessions, cups are not, things that we own. I'm giving up my, my dresser set or my bedroom set, or, they're getting the car in the divorce or whatever. Like, you can forget about a car. Like, the emotional attachment to objects is different than the emotional attachment to a situation, to a person, to a certain phase in your life. And that is kind of what I think is going to be the biggest crux of your situation. Or it's linked. Thank you. That's why. It's linked. So every time you go out in the world and you want to drive somewhere, you realize, oh, I can't drive anywhere because my car was repossessed, or I had to sell it so that I could move out of my previous situation. Like, it's entangled. So I'm going to go back a little bit, and it's actually more entangled and enmeshed than you would assume, right? Not to say that material things made you happy, or that you were in love with your possessions, or that you found some type of emotional satisfaction in owning things. Maybe you did, but it's very complex. It's very, like I said, enmeshed. So whatever you're losing, whatever you're moving away from, whatever you're releasing, surrendering to this newness, there is this memory. The challenge for you will be the memory of what was, and actually surrendering and releasing the memory of what was. And as you do that work, you will hopefully find some balance. Now, this particular depiction of the Six of Pentacles is interesting because in other decks, it's usually going to show more than one person or more than one entity. But in this deck, it just shows one person. And this person is in possession of all six pentacles. So this is about some internal balance. This is about you getting right. Getting right, okay. Getting right with yourself, or getting right within your own head, within your own heart, and feeling secure, feeling stable with yourself. If you are walking away from a marriage, if you are walking away from a long-term partnership or commitment of any type, it's going to be an adjustment period to figure out, how am I going to do this on my own? If you've been in toxic or codependent energies within yourself, if your behaviors before now have been sort of self-sabotaging or self-destructive or counterproductive to your own goals, and you're starting over anew, committing yourself to this brand new experience, right? You might be doing, this could all be about like therapy or something. You know, you could be submitting yourself to some type of intervention, whether that's strictly about some type of addiction or some type of codependent energy. If it's something that you're doing all on your own and you're just like, you know, doing self-work, self-improvement, whatever. The final piece, not even the final piece I should say, but the core of it is you. Finding peace and serenity and calmness and balance with yourself. Again, I did mention in my intro about spiritual evolution. I don't sense that this is necessarily to do with anything that's in the public sphere, but you might be noticing a mirroring going on, you know, within the things that are happening on a national or global scale, and then how it kind of reflects back what's going on in your personal life. It's very interesting. This Six of Pentacles is it's hitting me in such an interesting way today. And that's why I use different decks for the mids, because, you know, it kind of shakes up the energy, and it gives me different visuals. And what I'm seeing is somebody who possibly has been ignoring the self, or has never been, thank you. Some of you have possibly never viewed yourself intimately, not in a sexual way intimately, like gotten to who you are. In my personal journey, or in several people's journeys, you know, you might have to look back over certain experiences in your life, certain traumas or drama in your life, and realize why you behave a certain way in your present life. Like, I'm not, but you could be saying this, like, I'm 46 years old, and I'm still feeling XYZ, or I'm still experiencing ABC in my life. Why is that? And you might go back historically, reflecting with the Five of Cups on your life and certain patterns in your life. Or, again, to maybe tie it, because I've had conversations with people like this, where what you're witnessing out in the world, whether you're, you know, in alignment with it, or you're confused by it, or you're angered by it, whatever, there is something that over the past several weeks that people are witnessing in media, that they're witnessing in people's testimonies and their anecdotal recollections of life, and it wakes them up, and it makes you look back over your own life, right? And that's going to give you balance. Somehow, this Five of Cups, which is going to be hard to deal with, because again, a 5 is challenging. A 5 indicates some type of change. Any change, I don't care who you are, is always a challenge. Whether you enact the change yourself or it comes upon you and you just have to deal with it, it's always going to be challenging. But as you deal with it, the central focus, I think, for you should be, if not is, inherently on your own balance, your own sense of peace. And giving fairly to yourselves. In some cases, Capricorn, you can be this way. In some of your cases, you've been more than sacrificial, or you've given more than you needed to towards a situation, towards a person in the past, or you've been doing it your entire life. You may have been giving to a connection, a person, or a behavior, an attitude that is actually, like I said before, sabotaging of self. If you prioritize others sometimes, or you give to other people or other scenarios sometimes, you don't have enough left over to give to yourself. So there is an interest here as well of self-preservation and prioritizing of self, which, again, it might come in the form of abandoning certain things and shucking responsibilities, but I'm telling you, it will eventually pan out to get yourself back into balance. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and get you an oracle card, and then we're going to wrap this up. Oracle message for Capricorn in mid-June. Which deck, please? Capricorn, mid-June, oracle deck, please. All right, Vintage Wisdom Oracle. So the card that I left off with the last time I used this deck was Peace. And that's kind of interesting because that's exactly what I was just talking about. With your Six of Pentacles, you're seeking peace, serenity, calmness. And I don't know, I feel that it's good for you. So let's see what you get specifically in your reading. So Capricorn, message for Capricorn, oracle message for Capricorn at this time. Oracle message for Capricorn at this time, please show me. Yep, thank you. Oracle message for Capricorn, please show me. Is it lunchtime? It's lunchtime. What am I going to have? I don't know. I wish I had chicken salad. That would be good. Intention. Okay. I guess I should hold it like this. Yep. All right, here we go. Intention. This card shows a woman excuse me, congestion. My apologize. Intention. This card shows a woman holding a vessel of water. Her gaze is directed and purposeful as she steadily pours the contents into the ether. She hovers on a starlit background of blue and aqua, the colors of the throat chakra, which represent communication and clarity of thought. Water has the capacity to shape-shift form into liquid, vapor, or solid, depending on which atmospheric conditions are present. Just as the atmosphere shapes the form of water, so too the power of intention activates and shapes your reality. Indeed, all creation is driven by the power of intention. Drawing this card prompts you to contemplate your aims and intentions. Be clear that they accurately reflect your feelings, thoughts, and spiritual aspirations, and think deeply as to whether they are honorable and worthwhile. Reach for your highest potential. Events may not always manifest as you wish, but the purity of your intent will be recognized and accounted for in accordance with the laws of cause and effect. As written in the King James Bible, as you sow, you shall reap. You may harvest your wise intentions, be bountiful. Okay. So, again, I get the sense that some of you will be criticized, and you might be criticizing yourselves because of this energy of the Fool card and this act of surrendering or abandoning or walking away from. But what is your intention behind it? Is your intention to find balance and peace within yourself, to begin to be able to give fairly to yourself and other people instead of overgiving or undergiving in a situation? Is your intention to get over certain hurts or certain patterns of the past that have caused you to be conflicted or not be able to meet certain challenges or to release certain things from the past, right? So your intention, as the card indicates, needs to be the focal point of everything that you're doing. Some of you are not necessarily in the energy of manifestation or in the practice of manifestation, but that's kind of what I'm feeling here. You might be manifesting in ways that you're unaware of. And I don't know if it helps you or not, but you're watching a tarot reading, so I would advise that maybe you look into what it means to manifest, what it means to practice the law of attraction, and and other things, other spiritual practices or esoteric practices, meditation, yoga, working with your chakras, whatever you believe in or you're interested in, or what you're not interested in. Okay. All right, Capricorn, that is your reading for mid-June. If you liked it, the like button is down below. Go ahead and hit that for me. If you want to leave a comment, let me know how this resonated in your life. I would love to read that. You guys know I love to see what goes on in your lives because I'm a little bit nosy. But also, I like to know that, these readings resonate with the viewers in significant ways. If you want to share the video, let other people know you like watching my stuff, that'd be super cool. And of course, if you have not subscribed, please consider subscribing. The community continues to grow. I love meeting new people and new clients, so I'm having so much fun doing this. I'm honored to do this work. And if you want to show your support to the channel, the best way to do so is through a personal reading in the description. But if you can't, or you're not interested, doing any and all of the things that I just mentioned via the YouTube interface here would be awesome. Okay. Capricorn, I'll be back soon with your July messages. Like I said in the beginning, I think I said it in the beginning, I will be going live on the channel for all signs, all collectives, at some point before the month of June is up. So please be on the lookout for that, okay? All right, Capricorn, I thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. Take care.